Hi folks, would you like some Eskimo candy? That's what they call, I believe, whale blubber, also raw fish. That's Eskimo candy. And but you know, as we fish, we can also overfish. Less candy for the Eskimos, less food for all of us. And this video is about the connection between overpopulation, pollution, and poverty. And welcome to the Excellent Universe channel. Right here, we've got the wealthy, you know, look at this overbuilding, lack of nature, lack of animals. The seals and the turtles are not able to come up here. They're scared away, or frankly, just, you know, can't possibly get up here. And anyway, please click on the thumbs up button, like and subscribe, and comment on the videos. It's all to help you out. I tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, and hope to help you have an excellent universe, a safer, better planet, and healthier, happier life, more peaceful countries, by giving you information that's going to help you have an excellent universe. Okay, so anyway, I mentioned poverty, population, and pollution, and how these three P's are connected together. You could call them peas in the same pod. So now this is a perfect example. You can see these very tall buildings, and there are a lot of people that live here and work here, and it causes overcrowding on the streets because frankly people have had just too many children in the past. So now we have overpopulation on the planet, and when people buy things, and especially now with cars, they're not electric, we are not using enough renewable energy, and so we're creating pollution when the things are manufactured, when a lot of these vehicles are used, except for the sailboats that only have sail power. Now most of these boats, they might have sails, but guess what? They also have engines. In fact, I believe they're required to have engines because they're so large, and usually one person would have a difficult time operating, and especially bringing the vehicle into the dock, because these are big boats, and even if they have sail power, you know, it's hard to get them correctly into the dock without an engine. I'm not saying it's impossible, not saying that. I'm just saying it's very difficult, and so I believe they're required to use gasoline or diesel, and when they use it, or when the engine's tested, then they're creating pollution. And we can only increase the density and the height of the atmosphere so much before we're gonna have an increase in the temperature, and then sea levels will rise, and this area right here could all be underwater. And as we move out of the ice age, it could be a real disaster. So we've got too many people causing too much pollution. And then where does the poverty part come in? Well, there's so much competition for the housing, for the fuel, and the other resources. With so many people, they're competing against a finite resource, which is the resources that are underground that we dig up. For example, well, even, you know, the rocks for gardening right now, there's a volcanic cinder, which, although it's here on the islands, these are all volcanic islands, but yeah, even that's running short. They're having trouble getting these wonderful gravel, basically, that's really good for gardening, and it's worth a lot of money. And so people have used up the known resources and wondering, frankly, even sand, apparently, which is used in concrete or cement for making these tall buildings, we can run out of sand, and then we have to produce sand out of rocks. We can, because the planet is not infinitely large, but theoretically the number of children and people that we can over time put on the planet, there's no limit to that. So we always face the problem of basically outstripping our resources, and then we need more machinery and more mining and more destruction of the natural environment. So what we, and I say we need it, well, people demand it. What we really need to do is gradually, slowly reduce our populations by having fewer children over time. It's an easy way, peaceful way. I don't recommend any other way. Just reduce the number of children that we have slowly and carefully, so that we gradually get down where we don't have so much poverty. You know, there are people actually sleeping on the sidewalks and near parking lots with rats. This might look like a nice place to you, but I can take a 3-minute walk approximately, and I could show you people that are homeless, and at the right time of day, rats are running around. Rats can easily spread disease and have fleas which spread disease, and it's just not nice. Now, you might say, well, we're always going to have people that have mental problems and other health problems, so we'll always have homeless people. Well, if they have mental problems and they can't get along with other people, and there's no medication takes care of it, or they refuse the medication, or whatever medical or other interventions, it's possible we could, it's always possible that we're going to have homeless. But we can have fewer and much less poverty. The real thing is we don't want suffering. And so if we have enough resources, by having fewer people with our technology and start our continued move towards renewable energy, that'll be a good thing. That'll be good. So through voluntary charities, we can make a great progress so that people aren't suffering, even if they can't work. And you might say, well, their incomes are zero, so therefore they're poor. But if they're provided for, that's not really so bad. Trying to eliminate poverty may actually be bad for the environment, because if you go to a lot of less developed countries that don't pollute as much as the United States, people live on farms and they use hand tools, so not using gasoline as much, maybe not at all, and they live a much more natural life. And you could say, oh, their incomes are so low, but their health, frankly, could be better if they although we could always improve people's health, but they could be healthier and happier than the people living in these high rises, because over here people don't get the exercise that they need very often, and they're driving around in the vehicles not getting exercise, polluting the air, and so their health could be worse than if they were out there farming, and especially if they have clean air. And people that live up in the mountains, their air tends to be a lot cleaner. Down in the cities, it's not so clean because of the cooking, and there are a lot of factors to it. But my point is, poverty, if it's measured just as low income, that's a bad measure. We need to look more at do people have the food and enough shelter and clothing if they need it, and whatever they need, do they have that? Because we don't necessarily need high incomes for that. Just looking at monetary situation is not the wisest way to do it, and it leads to, well, maybe the industrialists and bankers and the pro-pollution people getting wealthier is possible, but we have to look at the whole picture, and that's what I try to encourage you to do here. Please like, thumbs up, subscribe, and watch my other videos. You can click on the Excellent Universe. It's words down there that will take you to my channel, and you'll see the other videos, and you get a whole bunch of ideas that are going to help you. As I said, not what you want to hear, but what you ought to hear, and the advice that you ought to do to have an excellent time on the planet and in this solar system. So thank you very much, and have a wonderful day. Bye now.